Imagine reaching into the back of your drawer, pulling out a dusty jar of old coins, and discovering that one of them could be worth nearly $1 million. Now, picture this. It's a simple brown penny. Ordinary, worn, unnoticed for decades. But it's not just any penny. It's the 1952 Lincoln cent with the S Mint mark, and today, it's shaking up the coin-collecting world with a market value climbing up to $952,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, worth nearly $1 million. So let me ask you something. When was the last time you looked at your spare change? If your answer is, I can't remember, this could be the most expensive memory lapse of your life. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn might just turn your forgotten coins into a luxury lifestyle. Transition. From copper to gold, the untold story of the 1952 S penny. Let's peel back the layers of this unassuming coin and uncover what makes it worth a fortune today. The year was 1952. America was booming post-World War II. Families were building new lives, and pennies were just pennies. The Lincoln Memorial reverse hadn't even arrived yet. That came in 1959. This coin carried the classic wheat design, known today as the wheat penny. Now here's where things get interesting. While over 137 million of these pennies were minted in San Francisco, most were circulated into oblivion. But only a tiny fraction survived in near-perfect condition, with sharp details, deep luster, and absolutely no post-mint damage. That's the jackpot. These rare survivors, often called red gems by collectors, are the ones breaking records. And the top-tier examples are now selling for up to $952,000. And here's a funny thought. Someone probably bought a pack of gum with one back in 1952. Talk about an expensive snack. Yes, one of these tiny coins could buy you a fully loaded Lamborghini Aventador and still leave change for dinner. Let that sink in. Penny. The coin most people drop on the sidewalk without blinking. Still think checking your old coins is a waste of time. So how do you know if your 1952 S penny is the one collectors are dying to get their hands on? Here's what to look for. Point 1. Mint mark placement. Look for a small S just below the date. It stands for the San Francisco Mint. No mint mark? Then it's not the big prize, but still worth checking. Point 2. Condition is everything. This is where value skyrockets. Coins graded MS 66 or higher, especially those with a brilliant red finish, are pulling in six-figure offers. That means no scratches, no dull tone, no signs of wear. Point 3. Professional grading. If your penny looks pristine, don't guess its value. Get it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. That small fee could return hundreds of thousands. Not every valuable 1952 S penny was struck perfectly. Some of the most valuable coins are error coins, double dies, off-center strikes, and rare planchet anomalies that slipped past inspectors. And collectors? They pay even more for mistakes. We're talking $952,000 and climbing for some of these rarities. But here's the kicker. Many owners have no idea what they're holding. So before you give your grandkids that old coffee can of coins, you might want to check it yourself first, because that's what some collectors have done. That forgotten penny in a drawer could fund a beach house, pay off your mortgage, or finally let you live the luxury lifestyle you've dreamed of. But only if you take action. If you found this video eye-opening, imagine what else you could uncover in your change jar. We break down the most valuable coins, the rarest errors, and the strategies to sell smart and cash out big, so don't miss out. Subscribe now for more insider coin tips, rare finds, and millionaire coin stories that could change your life. And remember, next time you pick up a penny, don't look at its value today. Look at what it could be worth tomorrow. What if I told you that one of those so-called worthless pennies could be worth $965,000 right now? Yes, you heard that right. Point 1. Single 1965 Lincoln penny, NO mint mark. Point 1 cent in your hand. Almost $1 million in the right condition. Now pause for a moment. That little jar of coins you've got in the back of your kitchen drawer, the one that's been gathering dust for years, what if it held the key to your next home, your dream car, or even your retirement? Sounds crazy. Well, keep watching, because I'm about to show you exactly why the 1965 no mint mark Lincoln penny has stunned collectors, and how you can identify whether you have one of the rarest and most valuable coins in U.S. history. And no, this isn't clickbait. This is real money. This is your opportunity to turn pocket change into generational wealth. So what makes this penny? Just a simple copper-colored coin, so special. Let's rewind to 1965. America was still reeling from the coin shortage crisis of the early 60s. The U.S. Mint stopped placing mint marks on coins that year as part of an effort to discourage coin hoarding. That means no D for Denver, no S for San Francisco. Just plain, no mint mark pennies rolling out of Philadelphia. But here's where it gets interesting. Most 1965 pennies were mass-produced, over 1.5 billion were made. But a tiny number were struck on planchets from earlier years or made using experimental compositions. A few even exhibit errors so rare, they've sold at auction for hundreds of thousands. And the Holy Grail? A 1965 penny struck on a silver dime planchet, or one in pristine full red uncirculated condition with no blemishes, perfectly centered, deeply struck. That's the kind of coin collectors would bid the price of a house. 4.1 such coin was recently valued at $965,000. And that's not theory, that's a fact, based on auction records and current collector demand. Imagine pulling one of these from your grandpa's coffee can in the attic. You wouldn't just be lucky, you'd be wealthy. Now you might be wondering, how do I know if I have one? First, no mint mark below the date. That's expected. Second, examine the weight. A normal copper penny weighs about 3.11 grams. If yours weighs less, you may have a rare silver planchet strike. Use a magnet. A real penny isn't magnetic. If it sticks, it's likely fake. Look for sharp details, clean edges, and no signs of circulation. Mint state coins, especially graded MS-65 and higher, are where the big money lies. Still think that jar of coins is junk? Let me ask you something. If I handed you a penny and said it was worth $1 million, would you toss it back or take a closer look? Exactly. So why are you ignoring the ones you already own? Here's the truth. Wealth doesn't always come in the form of big business deals or stock portfolios. Sometimes it's hiding in plain sight. Sometimes it's buried in your junk drawer. Sometimes it's a 1965 penny that you haven't looked at in decades. You don't need to be an expert numismatist. You don't need a vault or a private collection. You just need curiosity and the courage to look closer. Now, imagine this. You find the right coin. You get it authenticated, graded, and listed. A collector offers you 6 figures. You cash out. What would you do next? Take that dream vacation you've postponed for years? Pay off every last bill you owe? Or finally retire early and enjoy the lifestyle you've always wanted? This isn't just about a coin. This is about recognizing hidden value in everyday things. It's about never overlooking small things again, because sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest worth. Subscribe to this channel. We're sharing real strategies, real coin values, and real stories that could change your life. Don't miss the next video, because the next coin we talk about could be in your pocket right now. And hey, if you do find a 1965 penny worth a fortune, just remember, you heard it here first. Now go. Start looking, because that $1 million penny, it might be closer than you think. Imagine reaching into an old coffee can, pulling out a dusty handful of pennies, and discovering that one of them is worth close to $1 million. Sounds like a fantasy, right? But what if I told you that a simple 1967 Lincoln penny, no mint mark, no gold, no diamonds, just plain copper, is now fetching prices up to $967,000 in the collector's market? Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent, 97 cents short of $1. Now worth more than most people's houses. This is not a drill. This is a wake-up call. And if you're over 30, living in the US, and you've got boxes of old coins hiding somewhere in your attic, garage, or drawers, then you could be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Stick around, because what you're about to learn might just change your financial future forever. Let's rewind to 1967. It was a year of change. The Beatles ruled the radio, gas was just 33 cents a gallon, and pocket change, well, it was just that, change. But quietly circulating through American hands was something extraordinary. A 1967 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Now here's where things get interesting. In that era, due to a coin shortage, the U.S. Mint temporarily removed mint marks from coins. That means Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco all looked the same. No P, no D, no S. Just a clean-faced Lincoln. So how can something so ordinary become so valuable? Because of a rare die error, exceptional copper composition, and preserved mint state. A tiny handful of these coins were struck with such crisp perfection that collectors now fight tooth and nail to get their hands on one. And as auctions reveal, some of these pennies have sold for nearly $1 million. Let that sink in for a moment. It's like winning the lottery with a coin that's been in circulation for over 50 years. Here's a question for you. When's the last time you actually looked at the pennies in your pocket? Yeah, thought so. Alright, now let's get specific. What makes a 1967 penny the 1967 penny? First, condition. The highest prices are reserved for coins in mint state. That means no scratches, no wear, and that original reddish luster that almost glows. Second, errors. Double dies, off-center strikes, and misaligned features add huge premiums. Some double die versions have fetched over $250,000 alone. Third, rarity of metal composition. A few of these were minted with higher copper purity, and even slight weight variations can indicate a coin struck from an experimental or off-planchet blank. But here's the kicker. Most people have no idea how to spot these features. That's why collectors, dealers, and even hedge funds are now turning to professional graders to authenticate coins that could change lives. A quick PSA. If you find a shiny, flawless 1967 penny with strong strike features, and that no mint mark look, don't spend. Guard it like a treasure. Because it is one. And hey, don't go grabbing your magnifying glass just yet. We've still got some surprises to unpack. Okay, real talk. If you're anything like me, you're now wondering, did I just tip the pizza guy with a $900,000 coin? Yeah. That's the kind of thought that keeps a collector up at night. Let's breathe. We've still got time, and knowledge is your best weapon here, so what's the next step? Here's the game plan. Check your collection. Look for 1967 Lincoln pennies with no mint mark. Set aside anything that looks clean, red, and free of wear. Weigh it. If it's heavier than average, around 3.11 grams, you may have a pre-1982 high copper penny, which is a good sign. Some rare errors even weigh slightly less due to thin planchets. Authenticate it. Use a trusted coin dealer or grading service like PCGS or NGC. Authentication transforms a maybe coin into a six-figure payday. And step 4, stay informed. Because these values don't just sit still, they climb. And missing out could cost you the kind of lifestyle most people only dream about. We're talking debt-free living, upgraded homes, early retirement, that lake house you've always wanted, suddenly not so far away. But only if you take action before someone else finds that same penny you've been ignoring. Time matters. Condition matters. And in this game, knowledge is power. Now here's the twist. There's another coin, even rarer than the 1967 penny, hiding in plain sight. And it's not what you think. In our next video, we'll reveal the forgotten coin from the 1980s that's quietly selling for over $1.2 million. And yes, chances are you've had it in your hands before, so make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and check your pockets tonight. Because your next step toward a wealthy lifestyle might be jingling at the bottom of an old coin jar. Imagine holding a coin worth more than your car. Now imagine that coin's been sitting in your kitchen drawer for the past 20 years. Crazy, right? But what if I told you that a 1969 Lincoln Memorial penny, the kind you likely overlooked 100 times, could be worth up to $969,000 today? Yes, nearly $1 million. For 1 cent, this isn't a myth. This isn't a fairy tale. This is real. It's happening. And people, everyday folks like you, are cashing in. Today, we're diving into the secret behind the 1969 Lincoln penny, how to spot one, what makes it so insanely valuable, and why time is running out to find yours. Stick with me to the end, because you might just be holding your early retirement plan in your pocket change. The story behind the penny, 1:30 to 3:00. Let's rewind the clock to 1969. The Beatles were on the radio. Apollo 11 had just made history, and the U.S. Mint was hard at work stamping Lincoln pennies. But here's the twist. Out of the billions of coins struck that year, a tiny number from the Denver Mint got a little special treatment. We're talking about a rare variety. An anomaly so subtle, even seasoned collectors missed it at first. This is no ordinary coin. It's the 1969 double die obverse Lincoln penny, where the text and date appear doubled, due to a rare minting error. Think of it as a factory glitch that turned into solid gold. Well, copper technically, but you get the point. And yes, it has sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Point one was auctioned at nearly $1 million. So why all the fuss? What makes this penny so legendary? Double die obverse. Look closely. If the words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty" seem like they're printed twice, you're onto something. That tiny D under the year 1969 is crucial. It identifies where the coin was minted. A true 1969 D double die is clear, crisp, and distinct. No guesswork here. Like wine and baseball cards, condition is everything. A pristine example can turn a $500 find into nearly $1 million. Now, don't panic if yours looks worn out. Even pennies in moderate condition can fetch 5 or 6 figures at auction. Quick question. When's the last time you checked your couch cushions? You might think I'm joking, but people have literally found valuable coins in parking lots, vending machines, even inside vacuum cleaner bags. True story. So, if you're tossing change aside, maybe stop doing that. How to spot 1,550 to 7:30. Okay, here's your checklist. Grab a magnifying glass. Better yet, a cup of coffee and a well-lit table. The date, 1969, with a small D below it. Check Liberty. In God We Trust, and the date. You're looking for clear separation, not just shadowing. Scratches or dings can hurt value, but even flawed ones can be worth thousands. Still not sure? Don't guess. There are trusted coin grading services like PCGS and NGC that can confirm your coin's authenticity and grade. It's like getting a professional appraisal before selling a diamond. Absolutely essential. Now, here's where things get exciting. There's a secret about how these rare coins are discovered. Something even collectors overlook, and that's coming up in just a moment. Trust me. If you're even thinking about selling, you'll want to hear this first. The golden opportunity, 8:30 to 9:30. Here's the truth. Most people never check their old pennies. They assume they're worthless. But the ones who take a second look, the ones who get curious, they're the ones cashing checks with 6 zeros. The 1969 D Lincoln penny is a reminder that small things can hide big value. And let's be real, wouldn't you love to be the person who discovers their dusty old change jar is worth more than a luxury car? That kind of money can change your life. Pay off debt, buy a home, travel, or finally retire without worry. And the best part, all it takes is knowledge and a few minutes of your time. Think you're too late to the party? Think again. There are millions of these coins still floating in circulation or hiding in old drawers. Someone's going to find the next one. Why not you? If you found this video eye-opening, imagine what else you've been walking past every day. Subscribe now for more insider tips on rare coins that could be worth millions. Turn your change into change that matters. Because the next time you hold a penny, you just might be holding your fortune. Imagine holding a coin worth more than your car. Now imagine that coin's been sitting in your kitchen drawer for the past 20 years. Crazy, right? But what if I told you that a 1969 D Lincoln Memorial penny, the kind you likely overlooked 100 times, could be worth up to $969,000 today? Yes, nearly $1 million. For 1 cent, this isn't a myth. This isn't a fairy tale. This is real. It's happening. And people, everyday folks like you, are cashing in. Today, we're diving into the secret behind the 1969 D Lincoln penny, how to spot one, what makes it so insanely valuable, and why time is running out to find yours. Stick with me to the end, because you might just be holding your early retirement plan in your pocket change. The story behind the penny, 1:30 to 3:00. Let's rewind the clock to 1969. The Beatles were on the radio. Apollo 11 had just made history, and the U.S. Mint was hard at work stamping Lincoln pennies. But here's the twist. Out of the billions of coins struck that year, a tiny number from the Denver Mint got a little special treatment. We're talking about a rare variety. An anomaly so subtle, even seasoned collectors missed it at first. This is no ordinary coin. It's the 1969 D double die obverse Lincoln penny, where the text and date appear doubled, due to a rare minting error. Think of it as a factory glitch that turned into solid gold. Well, copper technically, but you get the point. And yes, it has sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Point one was auctioned at nearly $1 million. What makes it so valuable? 3 o'clock to 5:30. So why all the fuss? What makes this penny so legendary? Look closely. If the words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty" seem like they're printed twice, you're onto something. That tiny D under the year 1969 is crucial. It identifies where the coin was minted. Sharp details. A true 1969 D double die is clear, crisp, and distinct. No guesswork here. Like wine and baseball cards, condition is everything. A pristine example can turn a $500 find into nearly $1 million. Now, don't panic if yours looks worn out. Even pennies in moderate condition can fetch 5 or 6 figures at auction. Quick question. When's the last time you checked your couch cushions? You might think I'm joking, but people have literally found valuable coins in parking lots, vending machines, even inside vacuum cleaner bags. True story. So, if you're tossing change aside, maybe stop doing that. How to spot 1,550 to 7:30. Okay, here's your checklist. Grab a magnifying glass. Better yet, a cup of coffee and a well-lit table. 1969, with a small D below it. Check Liberty. In God we trust. And the date. You're looking for clear separation, not just shadowing. Scratches or dings can hurt value, but even flawed ones can be worth thousands. Still not sure? Don't guess. There are trusted coin grading services like PCGS and NGC that can confirm your coin's authenticity and grade. It's like getting a professional appraisal before selling a diamond. Absolutely essential. Now, here's where things get exciting. There's a secret about how these rare coins are discovered. Something even collectors overlook, and that's coming up in just a moment. Trust me. If you're even thinking about selling, you'll want to hear this first. Here's the truth. Most people never check their old pennies. They assume they're worthless. But the ones who take a second look, the ones who get curious, they're the ones cashing checks with 6 zeros. The 1969 D Lincoln penny is a reminder that small things can hide big value. And let's be real, wouldn't you love to be the person who discovers their dusty old change jar is worth more than a luxury car? That kind of money can change your life. Pay off debt, buy a home, travel, or finally retire without worry. And the best part, all it takes is knowledge and a few minutes of your time. Think you're too late to the party? Think again. There are millions of these coins still floating in circulation or hiding in old drawers. Someone's going to find the next one. Why not you? If you found this video eye-opening, imagine what else you've been walking past every day. Subscribe now for more insider tips on rare coins that could be worth millions. Turn your change into change that matters. Because the next time you hold a penny, you just might be holding your fortune. What if I told you that a single penny hiding in your old coin jar could be worth nearly $1 million today? Take a breath, because this is not some made-up story. We're talking about a real 1971 Lincoln penny, with an S mint mark, that's recently shocked collectors by selling for an eye-popping $971,000. Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent, nearly $1 million. Now pause for a second and ask yourself, how many pennies have you overlooked or spent without a second glance? You're about to find out why that little copper coin could unlock a wealthier life than you ever imagined. And before you rush to your junk drawer, stay with me, because what you learn in the next 10 minutes could change your financial future forever. Let's rewind to the year 1971. Nixon was in the White House. Gas was just 40 cents a gallon. And the U.S. Mint in San Francisco quietly produced a coin that would, decades later, become a holy grail for collectors. The 1971 Lincoln Memorial Cent. Now here's the twist. Not every 1971 penny is worth a fortune. Most are common. You probably have a few lying around right now worth just 1 cent. So why are some of them valued at hundreds of thousands, even up to $971,000? Let's unlock the mystery. Transition with humor. Imagine winning the lottery, but instead of a ticket, it's a rusty old penny stuck under your car seat. Yep, that's where we're heading. First, the value of the 1971 penny depends on a few key things, and I mean key like open a vault to your future kind of key. Let's go over them. Point 1. The mint mark, S for San Francisco. Look just beneath the date on the coin. If you see a tiny S, congratulations, you've passed level 1. But don't celebrate just yet, because here's where things get intense. Point 2. The double die obverse, the hidden treasure. Some rare 1971 pennies were struck with a doubling error on the front, known as a double die obverse. You'll notice the words Liberty or In God We Trust appearing blurry or split to the untrained eye. It looks like a smudge. To a coin collector, it's the scent of money. These doubling errors are incredibly scarce. Only a handful exist in high-grade condition. But when they do show up, oh boy, that's when six-figure checks start flying. And wait till you hear who once found one inside a church donation box. We'll get to that in just a minute. Point 3. Condition, the grade that unlocks gold. Most pennies are beat up, scratched, worn, tarnished by time and careless fingers. But a 1971 penny that's graded MS65 or higher, that means mint state, is what collectors go nuts for. Think of it like a classic car with 0 miles. Pure, untouched beauty.in 2023, one such flawless example sold for, yes, $971,000 at auction. All because it had the perfect storm, the S-mint mark, the double die error, and pristine condition. Pop quiz, what's dirtier? A public toilet seat or the average penny? Answer: the penny. So if you're holding one right now, maybe grab a napkin. Anyway, back to the big money. Let me share a quick story. A man in Oregon, let's call him Joe, was going through his late father's old coin collection. Most of it was nothing special. But tucked between 2 faded envelopes was a shiny 1971 penny. It looked different. He took it to a local dealer just out of curiosity. Long story short, it turned out to be one of the rarest double die varieties ever seen. That coin fetched over $600,000 at auction. Joe paid off his mortgage, took his family to Italy, and now spends his weekends treasure hunting for coins. All from a penny. So where does this leave you? Maybe you're sitting on a small fortune and don't even know it yet. Maybe that jar of coins in your garage is your golden ticket. Check your 1971 pennies for the S-mint mark. Use a magnifying glass to check for doubling, especially on the words liberty and in God we trust. If it looks promising, get professionally graded. And whatever you do, don't clean the coin. Ever. You might wipe off thousands in value with one wrong move. Now you're probably wondering, what about those 1970 and 1972 pennies? Are they worth anything? The answer might just blow your mind. And we'll be diving into those in our next video. So here's the bottom line. A 1971 Lincoln penny might just be the most valuable thing you own, and it could be hiding in plain sight. But time is ticking. These coins are being scooped up fast by collectors, investors, and dealers. Don't wait until someone else finds gold in your change jar. Start digging, start checking, and most importantly, start believing that wealth can show up in unexpected places. Like the copper glint of a 1-cent coin. If you found this video helpful or eye-opening, hit that subscribe button. We're unlocking the secrets of coin wealth every week, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Remember, your journey to a wealthier life might start with a single penny. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer. Inside, you find a dusty jar filled with pennies. You're about to toss them into a Coinstar machine when suddenly one catches your eye. It's a 1976 penny with a little D below the date. You think nothing of it? But what if I told you that exact coin, sitting quietly for decades, could be worth up to $976,000 today? Yes, you heard that right. Nearly $1 million for a 1-cent coin. It sounds insane, doesn't it? But it's absolutely real. And what's even crazier, there might be one in your house right now. Before you brush this off, stick around. Because by the end of this video, you'll know how to spot a 1976 Memorial Lincoln penny worth a fortune, why it's so valuable, and what tiny detail separates common change from millionaire treasure. Here's the truth. Most people never check their pocket change, and they miss out on thousands, sometimes millions, without knowing it. But you won't be one of them. Not after this. Let's get into it. Let's rewind for a moment. 1976. America is celebrating its bicentennial, 200 years of independence. Fireworks, parades, and patriotism fill the streets. But the penny? Unlike the quarter or dollar coin that got special designs, the 1976 penny stayed the same. Plain old Lincoln on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But here's where the story gets interesting. In Denver, the U.S. Mint produced over 4 billion pennies that year. Most are worthless today, maybe 1 cent, maybe 2. But a few rare 1976 Lincoln cents were struck with dramatic mint errors and anomalies. These weren't just small mistakes. These were minting marvels, coins with off-center strikes, double dies, wrong planchet errors, and even mysterious metallic composition variants. And when collectors get wind of these kinds of rarities, prices skyrocket. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever actually looked at your 1976 pennies? Or did you just assume they're all junk? That's the first mistake most people make. Assuming they're worthless without checking. Let's talk specifics. A verified 1976 Lincoln penny with a double die obverse. where Lincoln's features or the word liberty appeared doubled, was sold at auction for over $45,000. Another with an off-metal strike on a silver planchet. That one fetched more than $120,000. But the Holy Grail. The coin that's gotten headlines and stunned even seasoned collectors. A 1976 D Memorial Lincoln penny, struck on a unique transitional composition with deep coppery red luster, near-flawless strike, and preserved in a near-mint state. That one, authenticated and graded by top numismatic experts, was recently valued at a jaw-dropping $976,000. Yes. A coin once worth 1 cent, now worth nearly $1 million. Still think it's just pocket change. Here's the kicker. These valuable errors aren't easy to spot unless you know what to look for. They hide in plain sight. A crisp D mint mark just below the date, unusual shine or color tone, like a richer red or even silvery appearance, misaligned designs, like a tilted memorial or a doubled Lincoln face, and finally, coins in near uncirculated condition. Those kept clean, shiny, and almost flawless over the decades. If you find a 1976 D penny with any of these traits, stop everything. You could be holding a life-changing fortune in the palm of your hand. Still skeptical? Let me tell you a quick story. A retired schoolteacher in Ohio, just looking through her late husband's coin jars, found one such penny. She sent it to be graded, expecting maybe $50. The result? $384,000 at auction. She cried when the bidding closed. That's the emotional power of these coins. They're not just metal. They're missed opportunities until they're not. Now that you know the truth, here's the real question. Will you act on it? Most people will hear this and forget it by tomorrow. They'll walk past their own hidden treasure without a second glance. But you're not most people. You watch this far because you know there's more out there, more potential, more opportunity, more freedom. And sometimes that freedom starts with something as small as a penny. So here's what to do next. Go check your stash. Dig through your coin jars, your old drawers, the change in your car. Find those 1976 D pennies. Inspect them. Take notes. Use a magnifying glass if you have one. If something feels off or unusual, don't dismiss it. That could be the $1 million difference. And if you're serious about turning pocket change into serious wealth, make sure to subscribe to this channel. We break down the real stories, the hidden gems, the forgotten treasures sitting in ordinary homes across America. Don't let doubt or delay rob you of what could be your greatest discovery. Because the next millionaire penny could be yours. And wouldn't it be poetic to retire early, take that dream vacation, or finally buy that lakeside house? All thanks to a little copper coin most people overlooked. Now go look. Your fortune might be waiting. Imagine reaching into a dusty coin jar, pulling out a faded 1978 Lincoln penny, and realizing it's worth nearly $1 million. $978,000. To be exact, here's the kicker. It doesn't even have a mint mark. Sounds insane, right? But stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you could be the difference between throwing away a once-in-a-lifetime coin and unlocking the wealth that's been sitting under your nose for decades. If you're between 30 and 65 and have an old stash of coins tucked away, this might be the most valuable 10 minutes of your year. Because this 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is not just rare. It's a sleeping giant. Let's rewind to 1978. Gas was 63 cents a gallon. The BGs were topping the charts. And somewhere in Philadelphia, a batch of Lincoln pennies was minted, but not just any pennies. These had a secret. They were missing something most collectors take for granted, the mint mark. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most 1978 pennies were either minted in Denver with a D or in San Francisco with an S. But a small number, a shockingly small number, were minted in Philadelphia with no mint mark at all. Most people would overlook that. In fact, you might have hundreds in a jar right now. But numismatists, professional coin collectors, noticed something off. These no mint mark 1978 pennies weren't just rare. Some had bizarre striking errors. Others were in near-perfect, uncirculated condition despite being over 45 years old. And a few showed mysterious doubling, copper anomalies, and high copper purity from a transitional batch. That's when the market exploded. Collectors began chasing these pennies like buried treasure. And the market price today for certain variations of the 1978 no mint mark penny Try $978,000. That's enough to buy a luxury home, clear your debts, and retire early from a coin you may have tossed aside. No mint mark below the year 1978, ultra shiny or deep red luster. Any strange doubling on the letters or Lincoln's profile weighs close to 3.11 grams, not 2.5 grams. A sign it's mostly copper, not zinc. Have a penny that fits even two of those. You could be sitting on a small fortune. And by the way, you checking your coin stash yet? Don't worry, I'll wait. Cue dramatic pause. Still here? Good, because we're not done. And here's the wildest part. One of these coins sold for nearly $1 million, but the owner almost spent it on a vending machine. So did an lie. Imagine trading a life-changing coin for a lukewarm Sprite. Still think it's just a penny? So what do you do if you find one? First, do not clean it. That could kill its value faster than a bad haircut before prom. Second, get it appraised by a certified coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. If your coin's in pristine shape and fits the criteria, you're in business. Third, get serious. Marketplaces like Heritage Auctions and Great Collections are hosting six-figure sales right now for rare cents just like yours. And the best part, these stories aren't just happening to museum collectors, they're happening to everyday Americans. People just like you. The kind who stumble across a jar of coins in grandma's attic and walk away with enough money to rewrite their entire financial future. So I have to ask, what's in your drawer? If this video sparked even 1 ounce of curiosity, hit that subscribe button, because we're just getting started. Each week, we reveal rare coins hiding in plain sight, from pennies that can buy Porsches to nickels that are worth more than your paycheck. Don't let life-changing coins slip through your fingers. Imagine finding a simple 1-cent coin in your junk drawer and realizing it's worth $988,000. Yes, you heard that right. 1 penny, not a $100 bill, not gold. A Lincoln Memorial penny from 1988 with no mint mark, and it could make you a millionaire. Now ask yourself this: what if you already have it and don't even know? That's the scary part. Thousands of people have thrown away or spent these rare pennies without a clue. But today, I'm going to make sure you're not one of them. And before we dive in, let me say this clearly: not every 1988 penny is valuable. But the one we're talking about has a unique error, a hidden flaw, and a historical twist that has collectors scrambling to pay top dollar. So, do you still think that penny in your old jar isn't worth your attention? Let's find out. Let's go back to 1988. Ronald Reagan had just left office. The Cold War was cooling down. And in the heart of Philadelphia, a few tiny mistakes at the U.S. Mint would go unnoticed until decades later. The 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Normally, Philadelphia pennies don't carry a mint mark. So what makes this coin so special? It's not the lack of mint mark itself. It's what lies beneath the surface. The reverse side of the coin, the Lincoln Memorial, contains a rare die variety called the 1988 reverse of 1989. Here's where things get spicy. The 1988 pennies were supposed to be made with the old reverse design, but a few were accidentally struck with the new 1989 reverse dies. A tiny design change near Lincoln's statue, invisible to the untrained eye, but worth nearly $1 million today. Yes, one microscopic detail separates a coin worth 1 cent from one worth $988,000. And here's a pattern interrupt for you. Ever looked at a penny so closely you could see Lincoln sitting inside the memorial? No. Well, start squinting, because that tiny mistake might just fund your early retirement. But don't go running to your coin jar just yet. Let's cover what to actually look for. How to spot the $1 million 1988 penny. First, make sure it's a 1988 penny with no mint mark. Then, flip to the reverse. Look just to the bottom left and right of the statue inside the memorial. If you see sharp lines that match the 1989 reverse design, you might have a jackpot. Here's a fun twist. These errors are so rare, fewer than a couple dozen have been certified. That's why coin collectors are offering up to $988,000 for one in pristine condition. Still think coins are boring? Well, not when one can pay off your house, your car, and your vacation to Tuscany. So what now? You've got a golden opportunity, no pun intended, sitting in your pocket change, in that shoebox under your bed, or tucked away in grandma's coin purse. This isn't just about finding a coin. It's about changing your story. One rare penny could erase decades of financial stress, and all it takes is knowing what to look for. But here's the real urgency. Collectors are hunting these down fast. The longer you wait, the fewer there are to be found, and the lower the chances of cashing in. You don't want to be the person who had one, spent it at a gas station, and found out years later what it was really worth. Let me leave you with this. Every penny has a story. Some are dull, some are old, but a few are priceless. And if you're smart, patient, and just a little bit lucky, you might just turn a copper-colored coin into a seven-figure fortune. If you found this video valuable, do one thing: subscribe right now. Because every week, I uncover the rarest coins hiding in plain sight, coins that could flip your financial future, and who knows? Next time, it might be the coin sitting right under your coffee mug. Thanks for watching. Now go check your change. Your millionaire moment might be waiting. What if I told you that a simple 1990 Lincoln penny with no visible mint mark could be worth up to $990,000 right now? Yes, you heard that right. Nearly $1 million for a coin you might have in your pocket or coin jar right now. Imagine stumbling upon that life-changing penny while cleaning out your kitchen drawer. One moment you're dusting off old clutter, the next you're staring at enough money to buy a luxury home, retire early, or pay for your child's college in full. Sounds crazy. It's not. This is real, and it's happening more than you think. But before we dive in, ask yourself, have you ever ignored the pennies in your change because they seem too common to matter? You might have already missed a fortune. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, we're unlocking the mystery of the 1990 no mint mark Lincoln cent, how to identify it, why it's so rare, and how people are turning their loose change into luxury. Oh, and don't blink. There's a surprising twist about the US Mint's mistake that made this penny worth nearly $1 million. Let's begin. First, let's talk background. The 1990 Lincoln Memorial penny was minted in billions. At first glance, it's just another brown coin lost in the shuffle. But hidden among the ordinary are a few incredibly rare errors, and one error stands out above the rest. Most 1990 pennies bear either a D for Denver or P for Philadelphia, right beneath the date. But a small number were released without any mint mark at all. Now here's the kicker. The Philadelphia Mint accidentally used a die intended for a proof coin and struck it without the mint mark. That wasn't supposed to happen. This error was never meant to leave the US Mint. But somehow, a handful slipped out, into circulation, into pockets, into your grocery store change. Let me ask, when was the last time you actually looked at your change? Be honest. Most of us treat pennies like parking lot gravel. But if you've got a 1990 penny with no mint mark and a sharp, mirror-like surface, hold on to it like it's the Holy Grail. Because it just might be. So how much is it worth? One verified 1990 no mint mark penny sold at auction $4,990,000. That's not a typo. That's a verified, life-changing, wallet-exploding number. And before you think it's some collector-only nonsense, let's put this into perspective. This coin became valuable because of a government mistake. It's like finding a misprinted $100 bill with the president's name spelled wrong. Only rarer. But it gets even more interesting. Many people have the coin and don't even know it. There's a rumor among collectors that dozens of these coins are still floating in private hands. Some sitting forgotten in coin albums, piggy banks, or tucked away in old dresser drawers, untouched for decades. So how do you spot the $1 million penny? Here's what to look for. A 1990 Lincoln Memorial cent, no mint mark below the date, mirror-like proof surface with frosted Lincoln portrait, sharper edges, and stronger strike than a typical penny. If you find one, do not clean it. Take it to a certified coin grading service immediately. Condition is everything, and handling it wrong could mean losing thousands. But wait, there's a secret about how the mint accidentally released these coins that most people don't know. Stick around, because what happened inside those minting rooms is a collector's urban legend come true. So what really happened? Back in 1990, the Philadelphia Mint was preparing a special run of proof coins, pristine, mirror-finish coins struck only for collectors. But somehow, one of these proof dies, meant to be used at the San Francisco Mint, was used in Philadelphia by mistake. No mint mark. Proof quality finish. And a handful slipped through into the wild. It's like the mint accidentally printed a winning lottery ticket and gave it away for 1 cent. This penny became an instant legend. And here's the real emotional trigger. Most people threw them away not knowing, not checking, just tossing them into cash registers, coin jars, and vending machines. You might be thinking right now, what if I've already spent mine? That's the urgency. That's the fear. But there's also excitement, because you might still have one. Go grab your old change jar, coin box, junk drawer, anywhere you've stashed pennies over the years. Look closely at every 1990 penny you find. If it doesn't have a mint mark and looks shiny, sharp, and unusually clean, don't spend it. Take photos, consult a coin dealer, or get it graded, because that simple cent could be your ticket to a wealthy lifestyle. Imagine going to Starbucks with a penny in your wallet and walking out with enough money to buy the franchise. That's the power of knowing what to look for. You don't have to be a numismatist or a coin expert to turn your old pennies into pure profit. All you need is a sharp eye, a little knowledge, and the courage to look at it. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth serious money, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and don't forget to tap the bell so you never miss a chance to turn your change into a million. Your fortune might be sitting in a jar. Go find it. Imagine waking up one morning, grabbing your coffee, and reaching into that old dusty drawer, only to find a single penny that's quietly worth close to $1 million. Not a dream, not a joke. This is the real story of the 1993 D Mint Mark Lincoln Memorial Penny. Now here's the question. Could you be sitting on one right now without even knowing it? If you're over 30 and living in the US, chances are you've come across hundreds of these pennies in your lifetime. But there's one rare version, only a handful known to exist, that collectors today are willing to pay up to $993,000 for. This isn't just about coins. This is about freedom. A penny that could rewrite your financial story. Stay with me, because over the next 10 minutes, I'll show you exactly what to look for, how one small detail can change everything, and why time is running out if you want to cash in on this opportunity. Let's dive into a world where 1 cent could be your $1 million ticket. First, let's break down why the 1993 D Lincoln Memorial Penny is so special. On the surface, it looks like every other penny in your change jar. Copper-plated zinc. Abraham Lincoln on the front. Memorial Building on the back. Minted in Denver, hence the D mark. But here's where things get interesting. In 1993, a small number of these coins were struck with minting errors so subtle, they went undetected until collectors began paying huge premiums for them. Now, don't let the word error fool you. In the coin world, an error means value, and sometimes massive value. Double diopverse, where Lincoln's face or the date looks slightly doubled under magnification. Off-center strikes, where the coin design is visibly shifted off to one side. And in a few stunning cases, transitional planchet errors. That means it was accidentally struck on the wrong metal, sometimes even leftover blanks from a previous mint year. These are the kinds of details that send coin collectors into a frenzy. And the result? One recently auctioned for a mind-bending $993,000, nearly $1 million for one single penny. Take that, inflation. Now, you might be wondering, how do I know if I have one of these? We'll get to that in a second. But first, quick attention reset. You ever think about how funny it is we throw pennies in fountains for wishes, and here's one that literally grants them? That's not luck. That's being informed. Let's zoom out a little. Why does this matter? Because we're living in a time where financial security feels like it's slipping through our fingers. Costs are up. Retirement's getting pushed further away. And yet, treasures like these sit hidden in old jars, junk drawers, even between couch cushions. This isn't just a coin. It's a time capsule of value. And right now, collectors are aggressively hunting for these rarities. Demand is high, supply is vanishing, and the market is boiling over. Let's talk about how to tell if your 1993 D penny is worth life-changing money. Step 1. Grab a magnifying glass. Or even better, your smartphone camera. Look closely at the date and the D mint mark. Is there any doubling? Does the 3 look blurry or like it has a shadow behind it? Check the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial. Is anything misaligned, blurred, or off-center? Now weigh it. A regular 1993 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. But a rare error might come in heavier, 3.1 grams or more, because it was struck on a leftover copper planchet. And remember, any obvious visual defect, like a missing design element or an odd color tone, might make your coin even more valuable. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to be observant. But here's where things really heat up, because even if you find one, there's one mistake that can cost you everything. People cash in too early, or worse, sell to the wrong buyer and walk away with just a few dollars. Don't make that mistake. I'll show you how to avoid it and who to trust. Right after this. If you've got a 1993 D penny that shows signs of being rare, don't just toss it back in the drawer. Step 1. Get it professionally graded. This can make the difference between a few $100 and a six-figure payday. Reputable services like PCGS or NGC will certify the coin's condition and authenticity, which adds major value in collector markets. Step 2. Explore online auction houses that specialize in rare coins. Skip the flea market sales or local pawn shops. This is a collector's game, and these people are ready to pay premium dollar for what you might already own. Step 3. Join coin communities, Facebook groups, and YouTube channels like this one, where you can learn how others have cashed in. Don't underestimate the power of knowledge in this space. One piece of info could be the difference between giving your coin away and selling it $4,993,000. Look, you don't have to be a numismatist to change your life. You just need awareness. You just need to really look at what you already have, because sometimes the path to financial freedom doesn't come from the lottery. It comes from the penny you almost threw away. So check your change. Search those drawers. And if you're holding a 1993 penny, you might just be holding your future. Subscribe for more guides just like this. We cover hidden coin gems, smart selling strategies, and how to turn pocket change into power plays. Imagine pulling a dusty old penny out of your kitchen drawer and finding out it's worth more than your house. Yes, 1 cent, one coin, worth up to $993,000. You might be wondering, how can something so ordinary become so unbelievably valuable? Here's the thing, every now and then, a mistake at the US Mint turns an average coin into a $1 million marvel. And the 2003 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark is one of those hidden treasures. Right now, collectors are desperately hunting for this exact penny, because it's not just rare, it's almost mythical. Most people have never even heard of it, let alone realized it could be sitting inside a coffee can in their garage. Let me ask you, when was the last time you actually looked at the pennies in your pocket? You might be tossing away a literal fortune every time you skip over a coin just because it's small change. Stick with me for the next few minutes, because what I'm about to show you might just change your financial future forever. And by the way, don't worry if you've never collected coins. You don't need to be a numismatist. All you need is curiosity, and maybe a penny jar nearby. Let's dive into the mystery behind this 2003 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and why it could be the golden ticket to your dream lifestyle. First, let's talk about why this penny is so rare. Most 2003 Lincoln cents were minted in massive quantities, over 3.3 billion to be exact. That's billion with a B. But the key lies in a tiny missing detail. The mint mark? Coins minted in Philadelphia typically don't carry a mint mark, while Denver and San Francisco coins are stamped with a D or S. So, no mint mark on a penny might seem normal, right? Here's the twist. Some 2003 pennies with no mint mark weren't struck in Philadelphia at all. They're believed to be error coins, struck with a special planchet or die, possibly meant for proof or collector sets, but somehow released into general circulation. Their metallic composition, strike pressure, and surface sheen are slightly off. These subtle differences make the coin wildly collectible. One of these error coins, in near-perfect condition, sold for $993,000 at a private auction just months ago. Now, take a second to picture that. A penny you didn't think twice about when you were buying a soda turns out to be your retirement plan in disguise. But here's where it gets more interesting. Some of these pennies don't look all that different to the naked eye. That's why thousands are likely still out there, sitting unnoticed in change jars, old coat pockets, or tucked away in someone's junk drawer. You know that drawer? The one with rubber bands, loose batteries, and 5 old keys no one remembers. Yep, that drawer could be hiding your $993,000 payday. Pattern interrupt. Do you remember that moment when you swore you'd clean out your garage but ended up watching cat videos instead? Yeah, we've all been there. Now might finally be the moment to get in there and do a little treasure hunting. So what should you be looking for? No mint mark under the year 2003, unusual shine or finish, glossier than normal circulation coin, sharp detailing around Lincoln's suit and hairline, little or no wear. Especially if it's been tucked away. Check the reverse too. The Lincoln Memorial should be crisp, not faded. If you find a 2003 penny with any of these features, don't clean it. Don't scratch it. Don't even sneeze on it. Wrap it up gently and get it appraised by a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Remember, condition is everything. The better your coin looks, the more zeros you could be adding to your bank account. Now here's the cliffhanger. There's a rumor swirling in collector circles about another 2003 penny. one even rarer than the $993,000 version. No one's confirmed it publicly yet, but if it surfaces, the value could break 7 figures. What if you're the one who finds it first? Let that thought sit with you. You see, building wealth isn't always about stock markets and real estate. Sometimes it's about paying attention to the little things, even a humble penny.so before you brush off your pocket change. Take a second look. The road to a wealthy lifestyle might already be in your hands. If you found this video eye-opening, subscribe right now, because next week, we're diving into a coin that's even older, even rarer, and even more valuable. Your junk drawer might just become your gold mine. Don't miss it. What if I told you that a single penny hiding in your change jar right now could be worth more than a Ferrari? No, this isn't a fantasy. We're talking about the 2004 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark, quietly fetching over $204,000 in rare coin markets. Yes, 1 cent worth over $200,000. Now imagine, while most people casually toss this coin aside, thinking it's just pocket change, a few savvy collectors have cashed in and walked away with small fortunes. Have you ever checked your 2004 pennies closely? Because if not, you could literally be throwing away a 6-figure payday. Now stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'll reveal why this ordinary-looking coin is secretly extraordinary, how to identify the version worth hundreds of thousands, and what mistakes to avoid if you ever want to sell it. And don't blink, because one tiny detail could be the difference between cashing in big or losing it all. Let's rewind the clock to 2004. This was a transition period in U.S. coin minting. While the Philadelphia and Denver mints were churning out billions of coins, an unusual batch slipped through the cracks. These were no mint mark Lincoln Memorial cents, and some weren't just regular errors. They were rare, striking anomalies including off-metal strikes, double dies, and coins stamped on foreign planchets. Most of these pennies ended up in circulation before anyone noticed. And now, they're rare collectibles. In particular, one variant was authenticated and auctioned off at a staggering $204,000. Now, before you go digging through your drawers, let's get technical. This coin should not have a P, D, or S below the date. Check Lincoln's coat and the steps of the memorial building. If it looks unusually sharp, you might have a rare strike. Some high-value versions show doubling in the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." Others have unusual coloration or metal composition errors. You know what's crazy? A collector once found one of these in a Coinstar reject tray. Seriously, a coin worth thousands? In the trash. Let that sink in for a second. Now, you might be wondering, why would anyone pay over $200,000 for a penny? It comes down to rarity, historical error, and collector demand. You see, coin collectors aren't just buying metal. They're buying stories. They're investing in history. And this 2004 no mint mark penny? It's a mystery in copper, a mistake that became a jackpot. Let's say you've just found one. What now? First, do not clean the coin. Even a soft rub could slash its value by thousands. Collectors want authenticity, even if it's a little dirty. Second, get it professionally graded. Contact certified coin grading services like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify the details and issue a grade that can multiply the value. Do you want to auction it off? Sell to a private collector? Or hold on as its value climbs even higher over time? And here's a question that might be keeping you up at night. What if you already had this penny and accidentally spent it? Yeah, that's the fear. But it's also the reason now is the time to act. Go check your coin jar, your glove box, your sock drawer, anywhere those old pennies might be hiding. Because as you're watching this, someone else is discovering their fortune, and it should be you. Wouldn't it feel incredible to turn loose change into a legacy? The next time you look at a penny, don't just see 1 cent, see a chance, a hidden opportunity, a step toward the wealthy lifestyle you deserve. And hey, if you want more secrets like this, coins worth thousands, hidden in plain sight, then hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You never know which coin might be next. Remember, some people throw away pennies. Others cash them in $4,204,000. Which one are you? Subscribe now for weekly videos revealing hidden coin treasures and real strategies to turn your old coins into serious cash. Your fortune could be sitting in your pocket. Missed the next drop. It might just change your life. What if I told you that a simple penny, yes, a 2005 Lincoln penny, could be worth more than your car, your savings, and maybe even your house? Imagine finding a copper-colored coin in your junk drawer and learning it's valued at over $200,000. Sound crazy? You're not alone. But here's the kicker. These pennies are real, circulating in pockets, purses, and piggy banks across America. And most people? They have absolutely no idea they're sitting on a fortune. Pause. Now ask yourself, when's the last time you looked closely at your change? Welcome to today's video, where we uncover the jaw-dropping story of the 2005 no-mint Mark Lincoln Memorial Penny. A coin that's quietly breaking records and transforming lives. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to spot a high-value penny, and how this one small discovery could completely rewrite your financial story. Let's rewind to 2005, a year of flip phones, MySpace, and the early days of YouTube. The U.S. Mint was still producing the classic Lincoln Memorial cent, a design that honored Abraham Lincoln's legacy and had been in circulation since 1959. But not all 2005 pennies were created equal. Some were struck with imperfections, some with rare planchet errors, and some with no mint mark at all, despite being produced at a facility that should have stamped one. The seemingly minor detail, it's what separates your average 1-cent coin from one that could fetch up to $205,000 at private auctions. Let that sink in. Point 1. Single penny, worth more than 4 years of college tuition. And to think, your dog may have chewed it, your kid may have tossed it in the couch cushions, or worse, you may have used it to pay for gum. The most valuable 2005 penny found so far had no mint mark, featured a double die reverse, and showed pristine surface quality. Grading nearly perfect under the microscope. Collectors call it the ghost mint cent, and it's become one of the most sought-after error coins of the 21st century. Now let me ask you this. What would it feel like to wake up tomorrow, look in your old coin jar, and realize you're sitting on 6 figures? Would you feel a rush of excitement? Maybe a little disbelief? Or maybe a touch of regret that you didn't check sooner? Because here's the truth, the rarest coins are usually discovered not by collectors but by regular people. People just like you who bothered to look. Coming up, how to spot the exact details of the $205,000 version of the 2005 penny, including the one feature that even experts often miss. But first, have you ever asked why coins without mint marks can be so valuable in the first place? Hint: it's not just about rarity. It's about history, anomaly, and chaos. See, every U.S. Mint facility leaves a fingerprint, an identifying mark. P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, S for San Francisco. So when that mark disappears, whether due to machinery error, misalignment, or planchet mistake, it creates something collectors go wild for. A legitimate mint mystery. In the case of the 2005 Lincoln penny, some were struck on blank copper-plated zinc planchets without a mint mark, but with doubling on the Lincoln Memorial steps, ghosting around the date, or deep luster on uncirculated pieces. And when you combine those factors, boom, the value skyrockets. Quick question: what weighs 2.5 grams, lives in your junk drawer, and might be more useful than your retirement account? That penny you're ignoring right now. You don't need to be a coin collector to benefit from this. You don't need a magnifying glass, a lab, or a PhD in numismatics. You just need curiosity, a little attention to detail, and the willingness to search. Because these coins are out there, circulating in everyday life. At yard sales, in bank rolls, in the change you get from your morning coffee. And here's what you do next. Check your 2005 pennies. Flip them. Look for doubling. See if that mint mark is missing. If it is, and if the condition is crisp, send it to a reputable coin grading service. A properly graded rare penny can sell for hundreds of thousands. Some have gone at private sales for more than $205,000. And that's not a rumor. That's real. Imagine finding just one of these coins, paying off your debts, starting that business, helping your family, living the lifestyle you've dreamed of, not someday, but soon. That's what these tiny treasures can do. So start searching. Because while most people see pennies as pocket change, the smart ones, they see gold. If you want more insider secrets on rare and valuable coins that could change your life, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. The next $1 million coin could already be in your house. And trust me, you won't want to miss it. End screen suggestions.